Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering how to publish a book on Amazon and make money. Little actions could have big rewards, in this case, tens of thousands of dollars. So it pays to watch this video closely. By the end of this video, you will learn the importance of connecting your book's message with your sales funnel and why you should rethink book sales. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free opportunity. Let's dive in. A book is a resource, a book is a weapon, a book is so many powerful things, and it's just an awesome, awesome power to be able to unleash that, to share your message with the world. But it's not enough just to write a great book. If you're trying to get money and sales and opportunities out of a book, you need to do some other things. Now, I've written passion project books that didn't have any other ulterior sales motives in mind, and it was a lot of fun to write. I'm not talking about those kind of books. I'm talking about sales-focused, business-focused books. In order to have the financial rewards from your book, you need to connect your book and the message to your sales funnel. You need to connect it to your services and your offerings. You know, if you're offering high-value coaching support, you can use a book to promote that and to let people know about that and get people in this funnel toward being clients of yours that can pay you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's what we're talking about here. You know, the old model of book publishing was to sell as many copies as you could, which is a nice idea, but it doesn't really exist in today's world. Today's book landscape is changing and more books are being published, which means with so many books being published, it's harder to really stand out. Obviously, there's some that do. There's these super bestsellers that sell millions of copies. I'm not talking about those kind of books. I'm really focused here on business-focused books, on sales-focused books. Connecting your book message to your sales funnel will actually help you turn a minimal amount of readers into sales. You know, instead of this idea of just selling as many copies as possible and making money off of each book sale, which you can do, think about what could happen if 100 people read your book in your captive audience. You know, maybe you give a speech to a group of business leaders and you hand out a book to each one. What if one of those people ends up paying for something that you offer? Even if it's $1,500 or $2,000 or $3,000, you know, it doesn't necessarily need to be a super high-end ticket item, you know, but maybe there are things that you can offer along the way to keep people in your funnel, to keep people moving forward. It's interesting for me because I look back at the books that I've ghostwritten or written. You know, there's books where the authors spent, you know, lots and lots of money on book promotion, on working with the publicist, on trying to get visibility and attention to their book. This is really that old model of books. And they didn't make any money. They lost money on the book, which is frustrating. You know, I want to see my clients succeed, but ultimately I recognize now why that happened. You know, we weren't promoting a bigger thing. We weren't connecting their book to their message. We weren't connecting their book to their sales funnel, and because of that, there was no next step for the reader. You want to think about what the reader can do next. If they're interested in the book, what's next for them? Think about what that journey looks like and think about what offerings you can provide beyond the book itself. You know, maybe there's a coaching course that you can create off of the book topics. So maybe it's not an existing offering that you connected to, maybe it's a new offering. You know, maybe you create an online course that works in tandem with the book and you can have people read the book and take this course at the same time. There's so many different opportunities for you as a business leader, as a thought leader, you know, to connect your book to your messages and purposes and sales goals and find success with all of that. And this isn't a greedy thing. This is really about an opportunity thing. You know, if people have money they're willing to spend, you know, and they're interested in what you offer, you should give them offerings that are going to help you and help them. You know, this is a tandem thing where they're learning things based on the things that you're offering and, you know, helping you to build your business. You know, being a successful business person in some cases is a reflection of being able to meet people where they are and where they need to go next, and using the book as a platform to other things and seeing the book as the beginning of the conversation rather than the conversation, it can be really powerful. It's interesting for me to look back when I think about the authors I worked with that spent all this money for marketing and advertising and PR and didn't get the sales goals that they wanted, didn't get the book sales metrics that they wanted. That was a frustrating thing. And then on the flip side of that, I've had clients of mine who wrote a book who maybe sold 100 or 200 copies, and then 5 or 10 of those people ended up signing up to be clients of theirs. And suddenly that book became a 6-figure revenue driver just from a couple hundred book sales. So it's interesting seeing those tracks and seeing how opportunities can emerge even where you don't expect it, or even where the book sales are modest. The old model of focusing on book sales is over. I don't focus on book sales at all with the books I write and ghostwrite. I just think there's more power there to measure it in different ways. And the book sales by itself is an incomplete metric. One of the great benefits of publishing a book on Amazon is the reach, but also Amazon's advertising platform. You can advertise specifically on different other items, and you can advertise different keywords and put your book in your audience's eyes, on their screen. Amazon is the world's biggest bookseller, so you definitely want to be in that space if you want that visibility. But it's not enough just to post your book there. People think they just publish their book on Amazon and people are going to find it. That's not necessarily the case. You need to take extra steps in order to be found, and you can do so in Amazon's advertising platform, where you can actually promote based on other items. So if you think about other books that are related to yours, or you think about other tandem items that people might be interested in purchasing in addition to your book, it's great to promote it that way. And then keywords is the other option. I love promoting books through keywords because you can use dozens, if not hundreds, of different keywords. You can find every little keyword you want to and promote it. And then you can actually go through on each side of it, whether item-based or keyword-based, see which keywords or items are hitting and which items or keywords are selling books and which ones aren't. If you're spending a lot of money in spaces that are wasting advertising money and not seeing any results on it, you can actually turn off those keywords or items and really just double down on the ones that are getting the most sales for you. And then Amazon will actually promote your item next to another item and say, people who purchased this also bought. So you want to think of your book in the checkout bag, in the cart of somebody who's buying other things, and making sure that you're figuring out what those other things are. So it's twofold. It's obviously the sales opportunities that come from other offerings, and then it's figuring out what else your customer is interested in, what else your reader is interested in, and finding yourself in that space. And Amazon offers the opportunities to be able to connect to your readers in a really deep way. If you want to learn more about how to publish a book on Amazon and make money, you'll definitely want to check out another video I recorded. I'll link to it on the screen. It's called How to Publish a Book. In that video, I cover all the topics and all the areas of the path to publication, from writing and editing to book descriptions, promotion, marketing, publication, all these different things, all these different buzzwords and terms that might be overwhelming. I covered all of them in one video just to make it easier, because I know how cumbersome and difficult this process can be, especially if you're coming into it from an outside perspective. So definitely check that out. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.